Good morning. I'm glad you are here. This is the Saturday service. I'm Rabbi Brian, and I am joined by a group of friends. And let me see if I can't get all my friends who are joining on the video. Welcome if you are watching on Facebook, or welcome if you are watching on YouTube. You can put comments in. I don't see the Facebook or YouTube comments for something like 6 to 12 seconds, but please post them. And we also have a chat going on in the Zoom room. Here's the Zoom people. There they are. People wave, say hi. Good morning, Alice. Hi, Derek and Ron, and people I hadn't said good morning to yet. I'm going to come off of that view. Here we are. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad to see you. This is one of my favorite. Hold on. Get rid of this. There we are. Good morning. It's good to see you. Glad you guys are here. Last week I started with the analogy that perhaps we are all in a band, and there's a quote from Voltaire which I'm fond of. Let me see if I can put that up here on the screen. It says, "Life is a shipwreck. Life is a shipwreck, but we must not forget to sing in the lifeboats. Life is a shipwreck, but we must not forget to sing in the lifeboats." And I ran with that analogy, and I said, well, what if we are all in Voltaire's voluntary lifeboat band? And I pushed that analogy. You can push analogies, and then at a certain point, the analogy breaks down. But I really liked the analogy, and I did a little bit more learning about bands. And I found out that the band that I'm in the Rose City Pride Marching Band, and we will be marching next Sunday. I'm looking forward to that. But the band that I'm in is a no audition band, which is how I got in. All you have to be able to do is fill out the Google form, and you're in the band. And I thought, well, that part fits the analogy quite well, that this is a band, and this is you don't need to audition to be in a lifeboat band. Just as long as you want to be a member of the lifeboat band, you are a member of the lifeboat band. And then John, at the end of last week's service, added in something I thought was just fantastic. He said that when you're playing music, there are no such things as wrong notes.
Well,
there are notes that are played at the wrong time, but there are no wrong notes. And I like that aspect of the band analogy as well, is that sometimes you might say something or do something and it might not be at the right time, but that it might not have been all entirely wrong. And I'm wondering if any of you had any further thoughts about the volunteer lifeboat band. If you have any other thoughts of that. In a band, I showed up last Sunday to band practice, and I practiced really hard because I am the weakest of the French horn players, and I show up to band practice having practiced as hard as I can because I think it's only respectful for me. I want them to look at me playing the notes, the right note at the wrong time, and I want them to know that I'm trying as hard as I possibly can. And I think that's the same with all of us in life, is that we're all trying as hard as we can, and I need to be better for my band to sound well. And I think about all of us doing what we do here on a Saturday, and I think we're all trying our best to work as hard as we can so that we all sound better. I'm wondering if any of you have any other thoughts about the band analogy. Is there any other thoughts you have about the band that you thought of in the last week? And I'm scouring, looking at all the little Zoom boxes here, and I don't see anybody waving their hand erratically. Jeff, what do you got?
Last night at dinner, we were actually discussing klezmer music and how klezmer music came about. And it was in these small towns in Russia, and the fact that this guy could play this instrument and this guy could play this instrument, and they would play together. And when they went to the next town, they found another guy who could play a different instrument, and so
Interesting.
they would play together. But they also knew all the notes, but didn't know all the songs together. So they would play what I find to be kind of atonal music of things together, so that they would be a band, and the band changed with every town they went to because of the different people who played different music.
Right. So you wind up with an accordion and a fiddle and a tuba, which are not
Right.
usually all playing together. I love that idea.
Exactly.
Love that idea. And that if I push it one note further, that whatever note somebody throws at you, I mean, Miles Davis was famous for being able to improvise on the people he was playing with. If they played a wrong note, he had a way of playing that note in to incorporate it. Thank you, Jeff. I think that really hits our analogy well.
There are no wrong notes.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Rob. There are no wrong notes. There are just notes played at interesting times.
They're all interesting times.
They are all interesting times. I have my first note. I have my first note here of what I want to talk about, and I have no idea what the heck I wrote. Oh, I got
Improvise.
it. I figured it out. I have a few things to begin with. One, hey, folks, we're not all going to like each other all the time. There are going to be things that somebody says on this service that you just don't agree with. There's going to be somebody who rubs you the wrong way. I just want to call that out. This is reality. This is how things are. So, okay, I said that. Second thing I want to say, please, as it become our custom here when we're talking our spiritual, religious things, I ask you to avoid second person speaking. Well, what you'll find out as you grow is you'll find that. that speaking in the second person, I'm going to ask us to try to speak in the first person singular. Well, what I have found as I have learned, as I have grown is ... No auditions, wrong notes. Oh, another thing about the band that's wonderful is it's not all about any one of us. That in a band, different instruments play at different times, and that's what makes the music, is that there's more than one of us at a time. Also in review, I wanted to give a shout out. Is our friend Joe on screen? Oh, yes. Hi, Joe.
Here I am.
So last week, Joe, you asked a question. I had started something. I had talked about it a little bit, and I started to continue to talk about it. And Joe, you said, no, wait, stop. I don't understand that. Or you said, no, I don't feel that. And you interrupted and stopped me because you didn't feel like it was working. And I forgot to acknowledge that with positive feedback, or I missed acknowledging that with positive feedback at the time. And I want to give a shout out to Al, who in the chat did do that. And so just a little extra shout out both to Al and to Joe. One for calling out the good thing that was done, and then Joe, you for having done that. So
thank you.
You are welcome. You're welcome. And then I do see, look at that. We got some notes from people on Facebook and YouTube. Symbols don't have notes. They just make noise.
Oh, no, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
That's why they're symbolic.
Oh. Wow.
That's good, though. I think it's good someone kind of spit that out.
Say a little bit. I'm not sure.
Well, we can get over enamored with our metaphors, you know.
We can get over enamored with our metaphors. Yes, we can. I do. Okay. Thank you. Here's where we're going to go today. Here this is. I have this little. It's going to take a moment for this to load back up. Here it goes. It says, if more people, there it is. I would not need to learn to manage my anger if more people would learn to manage their stupidity. I'm going to read that again. I would not need to learn to manage my anger if more people would learn to manage their stupidity. Let's try that
Good luck
one
with
more
that.
time. I would not need to learn to manage my anger if more people would learn to manage their stupidity. Okay, this is where we're going to begin today.
And I would not need to manage my stupidity if more people could manage their anger.
I'm going to just nod along with you there.
All right.
Okay. I would not
That's the fight.
need to manage my anger if more people would learn to manage their stupidity. I don't know that we would all agree with this in writing, but I think we might agree with this internally. There might be part of us that unconsciously agrees with this. I would not need to learn to manage my anger if more people would learn to manage their stupidity. How many of us, give me just a quick show of hands, we know what this is talking about? I would not need to, yeah, that's most of the hands. Hello, hands. Hi. I would not need to learn to manage my anger if more people could learn to manage their stupidity. What's the
As
problem?
long as we keep anger in the foreground of our conversation, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, so let's talk about this.
Yeah.
We feel that I am justified to be angry because of how stupid other people are. Yeah, I see some heads shaking back and forth like this might not be a great idea.
You don't know that you're stupid.
They don't, wait, I don't know that I'm stupid?
I don't know that I'm stupid.
Yeah. People,
when I'm being stupid, I don't know it until it's pointed out to me or until I have some perspective to realize that I'm being stupid.
Right. So let's bring that back. This was an idea we've looked at in the past from Catherine Schultz, who asked this question. She says, Dr. Catherine Schultz says, what does it feel like when you make a mistake? And give me some of the words. And if you know the punchline to this one, I ask you to hold back so other people can enjoy this. What does it feel like when you make a mistake? What does it feel like?
Ouch. Ouch.
It feels like ouch.
Pain.
Feels
embarrassing.
Pain.
It depends.
It's a mistake. You don't know you did it.
It feels.
It depends on how big the mistake is.
It depends on what the mistake was.
How big it is, what it is.
Yeah, and it also depends on my mood that day. Some days I'm going to really get to myself because I burned the toast, and some days I'm going to say, oh, look, I burned the toast.
Yeah. Depends on who sees.
Say that last one again.
Depends who sees.
Depends who sees, right? Right. How I feel about making a mistake. And what Catherine Schultz says is, she says, those are all really wonderful answers, but most of them were answering a question that she didn't ask. Her question is, what does it feel like when you make the mistake? And what we answer is what it feels
like anything.
Exactly. What she says is what we are answering when we answer, we feel embarrassed. Is what we feel like when we realize we have made a mistake.
There you go.
And when we make a mistake, as Rob and some others pointed out, when we make a mistake, it doesn't feel like anything. And this is what Jeff was talking about. I don't know that I did something stupid. When I did it, it seemed like the right thing to do. I got a few hands that are up, Ron and Maria, and then Bob.
I don't know when I'm affected by the Dunning-Kruger effect.
I'm never aware of that because I don't know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is.
It's when you don't know that you're incompetence.
We don't know that we're incompetent. We cannot know that. And we can't know when we make a mistake. I learned this one when I was teaching high school math. And many of you have heard me say this in the past. I would say to my students, why did you drop the negative here? Why did you drop the negative sign? And my students would invariably say, like, I didn't mean to drop the negative sign. That just happened. we don't know when we make a mistake. We don't necessarily know when we're incompetent. Go ahead, Maria, and then Bob.
Perhaps I'm not as smart as other people here, because I believe at times I do know I'm making a mistake.
Yeah.
Perhaps I've made the same mistake before. And yet I do it anyways because I know it's a mistake. I do it anyways because maybe I'm expecting a different result.
Yeah. And this goes to
definition of stupidity.
Thank you, Maria, for bringing this up. There was something that Afia brought up a few weeks ago, which was, she said, I know I shouldn't eat ice cream and my stomach doesn't deal with lactose well, but I eat ice cream anyway. And so sometimes we do know.
That's being informed and still doing it. That's not a mistake.
Good. Hold on to that, Jeff. We're gonna be getting to where you are. So just wait up for us for a minute.
I don't know what I don't know.
Bob. Yes, exactly, Aaron.
I guess I look at it differently.
Okay.
In my lifetime, I've made many mistakes, and I look at it and say, okay, now I learned from that.
Yes,
and
Bob, you don't have you don't have the embarrassment of having made a mistake, but you see that it's a way that you can learn. You can learn from it. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And that I think that what I've come to realize is that sometimes in my career that I've run into people who feel that they've never made a mistake, and my opinion about that is that, well, I guess then you never did anything.
Correct. How can you learn if you don't make mistakes? Exactly. Ron?
I just want to quote Paul from Romans 7:19.
And we are going to be getting back to that exactly. So hold on to quote Paul right now, and then everyone pay attention because we're coming back to this.
For the good that I would not do, for the good that I would not I do, but the evil that I would not, that I do.
Say that one more time. So Paul's saying, the good that I do, I don't even think about, but the evil. Say it one more time then, Ron.
For the good that I would, I do. No,
I do not do.
For the good that I would, I do not. But the evil that I would not, that I do.
Hold on to that thought. We're going to be circling straight around. We are all this. I'm having this wonderful moment because this is all going not exactly on plan, but we're circling around this thing that I want to be talking about. Ahava, what do you got?
I believe that I always make the best choices given the information and resources I have at the time. But that information and resource. Yeah.
Amen. And that brings us, Meg. We have called it Meg's Law because Meg's the one who taught it to us. Meg, do you have it within you to share your eponymous law?
Sure. The law is that once you make a decision, you make that decision the right decision.
So
you really say it better.
Well, it was when you make a decision, decide to make that the right decision. Is when you order some food on the menu, stop second guessing yourself that you should have ordered the second thing. Just pick whatever it is you ordered and stick with that. Okay, so wait. Let me get all this around. We were at this person, and we're talking about not the mistakes that we make, but we're talking about the mistakes that someone else makes. Is somebody else does something, and if they were only not as dumb as they are, I wouldn't get angry. And I am here. If people would learn to manage their stupidity, I would not need to learn to manage my anger. I would not need to learn to manage my anger if more people would learn to manage their stupidity. And what we're saying, what we have set up until this point, is that they can't manage their stupidity.
Yeah, but why use the word stupidity? This kind of drags
because that was
Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, I used it because it was in this little video that I got. What word would you like to use?
Well, I'm just reacting to the harshness, to the arrogance.
Yeah, it is ridiculously arrogant. They are stupid is an arrogant thought. They might not know the things that you know. I hate this. This is one of my pet peeves. And Jane, she is unlearning to say Well, I don't understand what you were thinking when you did that.
Yeah, well, it's arrogant.
Of course not.
Oh.
She's
Neither
not
did I.
in your head.
Right. But it comes off as, how could you even possibly have, how could you have done that? I don't even know what you were thinking. It is an arrogant position to take. What I want us to focus on, though, is we are justifying our anger. Hold on. I almost have this. You know this thing.
Get to Paul. Let's go back.
I'm gonna be there in a second. I'm gonna be there in a second.
Because I didn't understand a word of Paul. Not a word.
No, I didn't either.
I just
it's very Christian. I mean,
okay, no. Stop. Give me a moment. You know the phrase, I don't. Oh, I knew you were going to do that. You know that phrase we say to people? We say, oh, I knew you were going to do that. Oh, and we usually say it with such extra anger in it. I knew you were going to do that, and now I'm super, super pissed. I knew Annie wasn't going to undo the dishwasher yesterday. Now, who's it on that I get extra angry because I knew she wasn't going to do the dishwasher? If I'm so fucking smart. You see what I'm saying?
It's your problem.
If I'm so smart that I knew what you were going to do was going to annoy me, I'm not actually being that smart.
It's your problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me.
One thing that. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, one thing that comes to mind reading that meme is that to be angry and to be so long-winded is being stupid. Actually.
Yes.
Saying, don't make any decisions with your fists closed.
I love
because
that.
That's you're gonna make something stupid.
Is that who is the anger? If I'm getting angry, there's only one person who is in charge of me getting angry because you're being stupid. And it's not your stupidity that's causing my anger. It's my stupidity that's causing my anger. Okay, let me bring in this word which will help us with Paul, because what Paul is saying, I found this word. It is a very rarely used in English word. It comes from the Greek. It is a word kakoethes. Can everyone say kakoethes?
Kakoethes.
So kakoethes. Kakoethes comes from the root like cacophony. Kaka. Kaka means shit. And it made me very happy to look up the word kakoethes and find out how cool is it that the word kaka has meant shit for thousands of years throughout different languages. That just makes me happy to know. Kaka, like cacophony, bad sound, phony meaning sound, cacophony, cacophony is a word we use, meaning really bad sound. Kakoethes is bad ethics, ethes like ethics. And the definition of kakoethes is an irresistible urge to do something inadvisable. And that's what Paul was talking about. The good things that I mean to do, I do not, whereas the evil that I don't want to do, I do. Kakoethes is the irresistible urge to do something inadvisable. Please pause on the word irresistible, because that's a different rabbit hole about free will. I believe in free will. I have no choice about that. I wrote that joke. Thank you very much. Thank you for laughing.
So you wrote it in your thesis, right?
I wrote my thesis about free will, and that's where the joke started, because I didn't want to write my thesis about free will. So go figure. Oh, and here's another joke that I just wrote. It's just not, well, how I'm telling the joke is, I said to Jane, I wound up being vitamin B12 deficient. And I said to Jane, the doctor gave me B12. I think it's for my memory. I can't remember. Anyway, kakoethes, the urge to do something inadvisable, is when we do something that we know we shouldn't do, much like this cartoon in yellow. We know we shouldn't get angry at people for being stupid, but we do. We know we shouldn't beat ourselves up when we make a mistake, but we do. We know that we shouldn't shame ourselves, and that hold on, I'm going to throw this one here. This is a little tangent, but I've had this quote and I've wanted to share it with you. If shaming ourselves worked, it would have worked by now. What happens if you give yourself to unconditional love instead? If shaming worked, it would have worked by now. What happens if you give yourself unconditional love instead? This is kakoethes.
Yeah, and it's by recognizing that everyone else is nothing but a reflection of ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. The anger that we feel of somebody else, their stupidity, that's us. I got one other quote, and I spelt literally wrong, but that was just because I wrote it down. You literally control only one thing. Steer the ship towards love.
Yeah. Yeah.
You literally control one thing. Steer towards love. Bob, hold on. Bob's got his hand up. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether or not sometimes that when we think those thoughts about somebody is likely to do something, whether or not somehow or another that we're telegraphing them that to them. For instance, that if you expect that Annie's not going to empty the dishwasher, that she's just picking up on your thoughts on that, and she's not emptying the dishwasher because you're expecting her not to.
That's giving me a lot of credit, and yeah, I could read you the text exchange from yesterday where she said, "Dad, I forgot." I wrote back, "I was standing in the kitchen asking you to do the dishwasher. I don't think forgot's the right term."
What was the answer?
I can't remember, but I'm going to look it up.
I must listen.
It might be wise.
Yeah, I said, "I'm not certain how you forgot when I stood in the kitchen and told you and you acknowledged what I said. Forgot doesn't count, doesn't cut it." I said, "I'm not mad, just disappointed. Please don't let this happen again." She said, "I started it." I said, "Yes, that's why forgot doesn't cut it." She wrote, "Well, I forgot to finish."
Excellent.
Thanks after you, Rabbi.
Okay, but let's go back to this yellow cartoon for this.
Like
Annie. I really like it.
Is it on me or is it on her if I get angry?
Oh, that's
on you.
That's on you.
Okay, yeah, Carol, straighten me out.
Fascinating is that when you were teaching and you were teaching students who were the same age as your daughter, you were so gentle, so understanding, you never got angry, and you gave in the office so you didn't bring it home.
Whoa.
Exactly.
Ooh.
And that's why I wrote at the end of the text exchange with Annie, I wrote, "Strange, but you are a strange kid."
Great.
I'm gonna brag for a moment. I didn't get angry at her. I wanted to.
Kudos.
Boy, did I want to, and boy, did I want to use this thing in yellow and say, if it weren't for you being so stupid about forgetting to do the dishwasher mid-undoing of the dishwasher, I was so tempted to do this getting angry, but I didn't. And all I have is practice. And Carol, you're right. I learned this while teaching high school. And I think everyone should teach kids high school math because they don't want to be, the kids don't want to be there. And the only way you're ever going to get through a week of teaching is by not getting angry, which I did not do for the first year. I was a terrible teacher my first year teaching. I didn't have the patience. I got mad at them. I got angry because of their stupidity. I got angry because they weren't doing what I wanted them to do. But I learned that that's
What
all
happened
in
after
me.
the first year?
Yeah.
How many of you? I think I know where the feeling is. It's like you understand what I'm saying, but practice is like, shit, Rabbi, I don't want to have to practice to be able to do that. Rabbi, please let me hold on to my anger. How many of you are saying, Rabbi, I'd like to hold on to my anger. I'd like a pass. I don't want to have to do this thing that you're talking about. Thank you for your honesty.
That's easier. That's the easier road.
It's easier to get angry. It's easier to get angry. Oh, folks, we have not looked at Aristotle in a very long time. John, you have your hand up, and then, oh my goodness, hold on. I went to the wrong screen. John, yes.
There's a theory that was put out a few years ago that really makes a lot of sense, at least it does in our household. And that is, whatever you have in your mind, it will alter every time you cross a threshold.
Yeah, no, you're talking a literal threshold.
Walk through the doorway and something will leave.
Yeah.
Because it's part of the ADHD that we all have.
Yeah.
A new situation impinges on us. And what we were thinking about 30 seconds ago, we can be gone.
And you know how I know that is because I walk into another room and I say, what the hell did I come in this room to get?
Yes. And you forget what it was in the other room that was something else you wanted to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, folks, I'm going to bring a picture up here. Aristotle said anyone could get angry. That is easy. And I recommend that you make these little pictures as I'm making them. Anyone can get angry. That is easy. But to get angry at the right person, at the right time, in the right amount, and for the right reason, that is not easy, nor something everyone can do. Let me go over those 4 things. Anyone can get angry, that is easy, but to get angry at the right person, at the right time, in the right amount, and for the right reason, that is not easy, and is not something that everyone can do. Yes, the last picture is of a raisin, because I don't know how to draw the word reason, and it works, and it keeps it in your head. Anyone can get angry. Our goal is to get angry and to do and say, Annie, I'm sad, I'm disappointed, I'm angry. But it's to be able to be mad without being mean. It's not easy. And hey, folks in the band, we're not doing anger anymore. We're going to do anger. We're not doing rage anymore. And that's what the little guy in yellow was. The little guy in yellow was rage. I wouldn't have to get angry. I wouldn't have to be mean. I wouldn't have to be mad. I wouldn't have to rage if you could manage your stupidity. And that's not what we're doing anymore. We're doing only getting angry. Uh-oh. What are the 4 things? Anyone can get angry. That's easy. But to get angry at the right
person,
at the right time, at the right
amount, and for the right reason.
And the right reason. That is not easy. And I want to zoom in on Aristotle's last sentence in it. He says, anyone can get angry wrong. And to get angry right is not easy. And then the last sentence he said is, and that's not something that everyone can do.
Huh.
And I hate that last sentence. Because the last sentence and that is not something that everyone can do means that when somebody comes at you with rage, that's because they can't do this. And you, my friend, you are being held to a higher standard.
Yep.
Right.
Be the better person.
Justice.
By being a member of this voluntary lifeboat band. I'm sorry, for having been conscripted into this voluntary lifeboat band.
On the run.
You all showed up. You all here. Okay. So let me bring back this cartoon. I would not need to learn to manage my anger if more people would learn to manage their stupidity.
And I always try to remember the joke's on me.
The joke's on us. I'm going to ask you in this next week to notice when you're getting angry at someone because they're being an idiot. That's our homework for this week. Notice how you get angry when someone else is being stupid. And forgive them. Okay. It's cacoethes. We have this irresistible urge to get angry at stupidity.
Is that related to the word chaos? You know?
I don't know. Look up.
No, it's
it's cacophony.
Okay.
Cacophony means the instruments playing.
Thank you.
Cacophony means instruments playing different tunes in different ways and making a whole mess.
Something like Stravinsky.
Okay, folks, we're gonna pause at this point here, and I'm gonna ask our friend Maria, who has the list of people for some prayers, if you can bring us to those now.
These are the names of the people to lift up and send positive energy to. Wayne in loving memory, Emily and family, Francis, Rita S., Ray and Patty, Andrew, April, Iggy, Sarah, Lorianne and kids, Rob B., Marilyn Wilson, the Cook family, Dominique McClure and her daughters, Carmela Wilson, Craig Lavielle in loving memory and comfort for Chrissy Lavielle and Craig's family, Viv, Sarah C., Kian and his family, Shmuley, Ken and Joe, David, Hillary, Eva Posner, Priscilla, Lindsay, the Dayer family, Eileen D. If there is another person in our community we can offer light and love to, please put their name in the chat and I will add them to the list in the clubhouse. And for the people who aren't named, but who are in our thoughts, we send them light and love as well.
Okay. Let's take a minute. Let's take a minute at a time and add these people to our thoughts, and we all look at each other. Thank you all for the moment of time. Few things. One, Wednesday that comes up next is the 12th of July. And it's not just a date on a calendar, it's an important date because there's some very important birthdays that happen on that date. One of which is our friend Anne, who's on screen here somewhere. Where's Anne? Anne is an introvert, so don't look at her directly. Look around her. I did clear this with Anne ahead of time. I don't like to put introverts on the spot, but she said it would be a little bit all right. Anne is, there's a word that is stalwart comes to mind for me. Anne has been working so hard on the Religion Outside the Box Clubhouse. Under the hood, you have no idea how much work she has put in. And I want to take a moment and ask you if there's a word or two or a quick memory of something that Anne has said in this service or something that Anne has done that has moved you. I'd love to hear a few words, just quick words. It can just be one word. What's something it is that you like about this glorious Anne who's celebrating her birthday on the 12th?
Inspiring.
Inspiring. And you don't have to take these in. You can just let them flush right over you. Let's see if we can't get... Smart. Amen.
Compassionate.
Take that in.
Wisdom. Smile.
Yeah.
He's gracious.
You've
generous in sharing her wisdom.
Okay. Should we switch quickly away from you, Anne?
Yes, thank you.
Is Anne related to you? Is Anne related to you?
No, not that we know of. Not that we know of. Okay, thank you, Anne, for agreeing to allow yourself to be celebrated. I'm so glad.
Thank you.
While we're talking about that, hey kids, look on the new Religion Outside the Box Clubhouse. Do you see that? That's our new map feature. If you are in the clubhouse, you can change your profile to add in where you live, and you'll be able to show up there. It is putting on my screen luma./lovewayne, and I was not in. I don't know what that's doing there at this moment. Hold on, but I do want to also acknowledge. We had a funeral service last Sunday for Emily's beloved Wayne, BD, as we all found out he was called, Big Daddy. And Emily, I just wanted to check in on you and your heart and see how you're doing today. And it was so lovely to see all of the Religion Outside the Box folks who were there at the service and who all got to know Wayne a little bit more. Is there something you want to add in, Emily, and tell us?
I thank you for mentioning that again. I've noticed that what's happened is I'm sort of getting my sea legs back after that. Seemed like I needed that, wanted that, that remembrance gathering. And I had a wonderful dream.
Borrow your bed? Sure.
And
on the bed. I'm just going to put
I'm getting my sea legs back.
Okay.
And I'm looking ahead now. And that feels really good. And I sort of wondered if that would ever happen.
Yeah.
And it is happening slowly.
Thank you for sharing.
And I thank you all for being there with me.
Yeah. Emily, there's a teaching that my beloved, she's a grief and loss counselor, says, and she says when somebody first passes, it's as though there's a sheet of paper right up against your face and you cannot see anything. because that paper is right there. And some about over the course of a week, that piece of paper moves a little bit away. And it's still pretty center, and it's all you can really see. But then as time goes, that paper goes a little bit further back and a little bit further back. But don't think for a moment that you're that far away yet. Grief is a powerful thing, and grief, of course, we remember, doesn't mean that our love ends. Our love continues past our loss.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing yourself so much with us, Emily. I appreciate that. We all appreciate that. I have some announcements, and I have one other thing. Quick. Oh my gosh, guys, quiz. No looking at your notes unless you want to. There are 4 things. If you want to get angry, you're supposed to get angry at the right
person.
At the right
time,
in the right
amount,
and for the right
reason.
Let's keep that in mind. I have a few announcements. One, I made a change to my usual announcement, and it now says this. It says it's okay not to feel okay.
Thank you.
It used to say it's not okay. It's okay not to be okay, but I changed it in for a little bit to it's okay not to feel okay. Other announcements. The Shekinah group, if you find that this service is not using the God word as much as you would like, hey, look at that. We are almost 50 minutes in. It's the first time I've used the God word. And you like to talk banty about the God word more, put your name in the chat and someone from the Shekinah group will... there's an echo.
Yeah.
There we go. Someone from the Shekinah group will be following up with you. There's a 12-step meeting that Religion Outside the Box hosts on Monday. If you want to know more about that, put information into the chat, and somebody will find you from that group. If you would like to be in the Tuesday group, please, Tuesday at 11 o'clock Pacific, we have a small meeting. It's like this, but it's not broadcast to the world, and we get a little bit more open and a little bit more heartfelt. And I can't think of what other announcements I'm supposed to make. Oh, hey, here's one. This is a church in Barcelona that we visited last year. You'll notice at the very top of the church, there's an ad for a Samsung Galaxy phone. Why am I showing that? I'm showing that to remind you that, hey, even churches in Barcelona need to raise funds. Religion Outside the Box, yes, it's free, but it's not free. There's experts and there's costs, and if you make a contribution, I thank you very kindly for doing so. If you would like to increase your contribution, I appreciate that. And if you don't make a contribution, please still show up. You're welcome. This is free. I can't, for the life of me, get my head around having a price cap on running a religious service. It doesn't make intuitive sense to me. But I do want to pass the basket. Yeah, great. And our friend James. Oh, this is funny. So James is a student of my same Buddhist teacher that I had, and he is in Pelican Bay State Prison. He's now back on texting if you would like to text him. But hey, here's something I didn't know. Alex ordered him all the candy bars because that's what he uses to trade favors and to help get support for his self-help groups that he's running in the prison. But don't text the word candy. Did you know that? I didn't know that. But candy is slang for drugs in jail. So, when I forwarded a text message from Alex about your shipment of candy will be arriving, it got a red line through it that said under investigation, and I had to. It was like playing. It was like playing charades via text to get him to know what the hell I was talking about. Like, you can't use the word candy. Great. How do you get around that? So we did. That's
How
it.
did you do it? What
Um,
did you say?
I said, I don't remember the exact words, but we got it through, and it worked. And I found it. Maybe it was using the word shipment and candy in the same sentence. I don't know. But as long as I got the message through without a red line, we were fine.
Next time, just tell them that the quarterly package is on its way.
Yeah. So we will do that.
And it was ordered, and so there's lots of candy bars on the way.
Great. Shh.
Lots of bars.
Lots of bars. So here's a thought. I would not need to learn to manage my anger if more people would learn to manage their stupidity. I gave you your homework already, which is to notice this with regard to people in your life. Do you feel like you are justified to get mad or angry or irritable because they made a mistake, because they were stupid? And I'm going to up the game. You don't have to, but I want you to have the opportunity to listen if this isn't all happening internally with your inner critic, with your inner voice. Is there a voice in your own head that tells you, I wouldn't have to be mean to you if you could just get your shit together?
Can I add one thing here?
Please go ahead.
One thought only, and that is to take from a religious or spiritual point of view, it's very, how should I say, it's profound to take anger seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to, and I'm going to bring us one further thought about that. Thank you, Michael. Yes. And Jack, you have your hand and you're waiting patiently. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to add to right place.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the Greek, these were the four that he came up with, but in the right place. Like, you can get angry at the right person at the right time, the right amount, the right reason, but if you're doing it publicly, that might not be the right place for doing it. Yeah.
Do it on the New York City subway, you get locked up.
So, oh, wait. Oh, shoot. Michael, say what you said again, because then I had what I was going to bring that to.
I want to emphasize that I think psychotherapeutically, for sure, anger.
Oh, I remember what it was. Yes. To take this seriously.
Let me finish my sentence. So for spirituality, and what we're achieving here is to take this seriously, because this is a profound principle, a profound feeling.
And here's the thought from Viktor Frankl that ties this in. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. I'm going to read that again. Between stimulus, somebody being a dumb fucker while you're driving, and I know I'm cursing more than usual, between stimulus and response, between somebody cutting you off in traffic or the shipping department being closed today, between whatever it is that is the stimulus that causes you to be angry, between stimulus and response, between the person being stupid and you getting mad at them, there's actually a space.
Yeah.
In that space is our power to choose our response. In that response lies our growth and our freedom.
Yeah.
We're going to come to these guys next week. Because my Wednesday and Tuesday group will rightfully get on me if I try to sneak these guys in. But if you've been with me for a while, you know how these guys are related in. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. Here's a bonus round. I'm working on this one. Can I not always choose peace? theoretically, I should always be able to choose peace. Even if the dishwasher doesn't get undone halfway through, she forgets to finish undoing the dishwasher, I should still be able to choose peace.
Yes.
Now, it's much easier for me to do this than for you to do this. And let me tell you why. Because I'm not you. It's always so much easier for someone else to do the goddamn thing than for you to do it yourself.
Thank you.
You all can do this too. And this is hard. Let me go back to our band analogy and I'll leave us there. Hey guys, we're all doing this together. And we all are going to try in the next week, practice our parts. We're going to practice extending that space between stimulus and response. We're all in this next week going to spend a little bit of time noticing someone do something stupid and try not to get mad at them. We're all going to spend this next week trying to get mad without being mean. We're all going to try this week to get angry only at the right person, at the right time, in the right amount, and for the right reason. We're going to try this week to do that internally and to be kind to ourselves when we realize that we made a mistake. Like I just, a moment ago, in the last minute, I just said the goddamn something and I was like, oh my, that was too much. That was I shouldn't have said that. That was a stupid thing to do. And I started getting on myself for that. But to forgive ourselves for our own mistakes and forgive other people for their own mistakes. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
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 Yeah, man.
Jeff, you got your
Amen.
hand up. What you got, bud?
There's a famous quote that says, people who make music together cannot be enemies, at least while the music is playing.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
I
nice.
love that, Jeff. Yeah. Okay, folks. Let me take a moment to look at each of your faces. If you have the ability to put this on gallery view so you can see everyone's face, see everybody's face right now, I'm going to share that with our people, our friends who are on Facebook and on YouTube. Oh, they put in some other comments too. Thank you, Anne, for adding in some comments for us. There's all of our friends. I'll see you at band practice next week. You'll be here? I'll be here.
Brian, you didn't mention